Hey everyone, my name's Katie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a single page layout based off of the Facebook Live that Close to My Heart put on last Thursday, the 21st of May. So I'm showing you right now this stamp set, which is called All That I Am, which is part of a Mother's Day promotion that Close to My Heart put on. And they utilize that exact same stamp set in their layout as well. So what I'm showing you right now are all of the triangles that were cut out. And all the directions on the sizes of the triangles and the pages are right on that Facebook page as well. So I did mine a little bit different because they had 5 triangles and I used 6 because I just liked the way the patterns looked together when I used 6 different sheets. And the collection that I used was the Stitch Together collection from Close to My Heart. I do believe on their original Facebook Live they did use a different paper collection and then showed you a few other examples of collections that they used with this particular design. So right here I'm just taking my ATG gun and going ahead and gluing all of the pieces down. And it's relatively easy. Again, these are all just triangles. So once you get them all cut out, the gluing down part is super easy. But you will see in just a little bit that I noticed that that pattern paper that has the stripes was a little off. So what I did was just take my trimmer out and cut off a little bit of that edge. And then when I lined it up again, you can see that the points of the triangle all match up. Now on this side of the triangle, because there's essentially 3 different sections of triangles that make this really neat pattern, I did the same exact thing, used my ATG gun to get it glued down. In a little bit you will see that I did accidentally cut out the wrong pattern paper color, I guess you would say, in the size, but I end up fixing it, and I show you how easy it is to just fix any kind of issues if you do get lost in the directions and accidentally cut out the wrong pattern paper or cut something to the wrong size. Essentially, I figure out my problem and I go ahead and fix it right away. So what I did is I didn't cut out that piece that's in the, I forgot what color it is, but that's in that lighter shade of blue with some dots on it. I didn't cut out that piece. So what I did was just glued it down to the triangles and then cut it out on the back. And I did that again with this pink piece. I realized I cut that out the size that the blue was supposed to be, so I just fixed it again. I put it right on the piece of paper, turned it around, and cut off the excess. And that seems to work. In fact, you could probably create this whole layout doing that. You could easily just put a triangle down and then continuously put like the corner of the triangle of whatever paper you want to use, the next shade or the next pattern paper that you want to use. You could just easily put that on and continue to go from there, versus looking at the piece of paper, the directions that Close to My Heart gave us, and cutting them out that way. I mean, either way it really works. A triangle is a very simple shape to cut out. Every corner of a page is a triangle. So that's just another tip as well if you want to do it that way, or if you are like me and you look at the wrong color and then cut it out the wrong size. And I think why I did that, or how I got to doing that, is because I used that extra 6th sheet of paper. So technically I cut it out the right size, just didn't make my extra sheet the right size. So that is essentially the full layout, and it's really easy and it comes together very quick. So they do give you a mat as well to cut out, and I just did a 4.5 by, or 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, a standard mat, so I could put a 4 by 6 sheet of paper down. So right now I'm showing you that I'm going to use a stamping tool to stamp the sentiment. So this stamping tool is from Tim Holtz, and unfortunately it is no longer available on the market. But something very similar would be the Misty, or I do know that We Are Memory Keepers came out with a stamping tool as well. I bought this a few years ago, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Right there I was showing you that I was using the sapphire ink because I wanted to pull the blue that is in that beautiful floral pattern paper into my layout. So what I do is I take the ink pad directly to the stamp and then push it down. And the reason I wanted to use this stamp, the stamping tool, is because I wanted to make sure I had a really clean, crisp sentiment, which essentially is my title page. So then I'm going to go ahead and take off the paper and remove those magnets and put that off to the side. So then I go on to just gluing down that mat. And I'm kind of flipping it over, determining if I want to use the dark side or the light side, because all of Close to My Heart's paper comes in 2 different shades. So I decided to use the dark. Again, it matches that beautiful floral paper, and it also matches the sentiment or the title as well. And then I'm picking out some stickers that were in the sticker sheet. And I'm doing what I typically do, is using the anti-static pouch and removing the stickiness from the back of that. And then I'm putting on some 3D foam tape and lifting that flower so it's just off the edge of that corner, because I don't want it to overlap that corner, because I still need to put a photo in there. I don't have a photo printed out yet, so I wanted to make sure that I had it laid out and decorated, but I didn't want it to overlap onto that mat. So I'm just adding, a few little clusters down in that corner. And what I showed you before was just the sticker sheet that came with the Stitch Together collection. And then I'm making another sticker cluster with the flowers in the upper corner as well. I'm just using essentially what I have left over. I've made a few other layouts with this collection already. So the bigger flowers were already used on a different layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the smaller ones, and you can see that I removed that yellow one that was originally down in the corner, and I moved it up to that other cluster. So right here I'm just taking that big leaf design and just cutting part of it off, because I only needed a little bit of that green to pop out in the back. I didn't need that whole huge floral, and I can use that floral for another layout or even a card. So again, what I'm doing is just using the anti-static pouch and removing the stickiness off the back. And then I'm grabbing the 3D foam tape and adding it to the back. And then I'll go ahead and put that in that top corner. Again, leaving space for the photo to be tucked right behind it. And right now I'm just kind of flipping around and playing with it. And I do kind of fuss with this for a little bit, switching the flower and kind of switching direction. Then I'm showing you some dots that are from Close to My Heart, and I do believe that these are retired, and I believe they're called the gems, but I wanted to use them because that shade of pink just matched so nicely with the pinks that are throughout this collection. And then I'm kind of playing around with some sequins, and I start with the rose gold and then go back to the original gold. And the rose gold, I do believe, is still available on the Close to My Heart website under the online only section. But the gold is a standard that is in the regular catalog, so those are still available. And you just get a ton of sequins in the pack, and they come in all different shades of gold and all different sizes. So I add a few throughout that area, kind of over by the title. And then I take the stamp, the little tiny heart that comes with that Mother's Day stamp as well. And I kind of just decide that I'm going to put a few hearts on there as well. So I go ahead and look at the zip strip just for a good reference to see what shade of red is actually in this collection. And I really like how Close to My Heart always puts the colors into the zip strip. So right there, I was just showing you that this is candy apple red. So I'm just practicing, or I guess stamping some off just to make sure that I have a nice clean color. And then I go ahead and put it right on to the actual layout. So what you saw before is I had that sheet of foam, and that comes with all the stamps. And I like to put that behind the piece of paper just because it gives a nice, crisp, clean stamp when I'm using my Close to My Heart stamps. And again, you could use that. You could use any kind of foam would work as well. You could even use fun foam if you have that available. So, or the Versamat as well. I use that quite often. So I decided that I need a few more sequins. So I go ahead and glue just a few more down just to highlight again that area. I really liked the shimmer and shine that the sequins added to that particular area. So again, I just go ahead and add a few more. I'm definitely a girl who loves glitter and bling. And like I said before, I was kind of fussing with that cluster as well. So I end up moving the blue one a little bit, and I move it a few times. I do end up adding a little bit more foam tape to the back of the cluster as well, just to give it a little more dimension. And then finally, I am okay with that little cluster. And in a little bit, I'm going to just be showing you some close-ups of the actual layout. Again, just showing you the beautiful pattern paper that comes in that Stitch Together collection. I just love how all of the colors coordinate and go together so well. And I really love that sentiment, which is really the show of the layout. Thanks again for joining me, and have a great day.